Nevada has no state income tax, but you already knew that. But here's something that you didn't know. That's not why people end up here and are happy. I've personally closed over 1,000 transactions with families, and every single failure that I've ever seen had nothing to do with the money. It actually had something to do with the one question nobody bothers to ask before the moving truck shows up. So I'm going to ask that in just a second. And then I'm going to actually end up closing out this video telling you about the 3 types of buyers I truly try to talk out of moving here. Not for your benefit, but for my own. I hate to give back earnest money deposits. So let's start with the one thing that people think is the entire story. And that's for the family who makes about $250,000 a year. That's real money by just simply staying out of Sacramento. Nobody's arguing with that math. But here's the part that surprises me in over 20 years of being in this industry. And that is, not one client ever has ever called me 6 months after they've moved in to thank me for their tax return. Want to know what they call me about instead? They got home in 15 minutes. They had dinner together on a Tuesday. So the tax benefits might be why we got them here, but the lifestyle is what keeps them. Now, for an honest part, and this one's for the self-employed or the business owners, and that is simply changing your address does not end your relationship with California. Unfortunately, in my own experience, the Franchise Tax Board does not give up and quit that easy. So if you don't document your true domicile, where you actually live, where you bank, your vote, your registration of your vehicles, they can and they will audit that exit. That part is not optional. It's simply the paperwork. You can't exit on hopes and dreams. So if money isn't the real reason that people end up loving it here, then what is it? Why are so many people actually making the choice to move over the state line and make Reno their home? And that leads into the question I actually start all of my conversations with. Not where do you want to live, but why are you leaving where you're at? And the answer to that one actually gives me more information than any spreadsheet ever could. And usually it's not about California itself. However, if we're being honest, most people are going to say it is. But more times than not, it's truly about the friction. All the errands that take 40 minutes to complete, getting that permit for a simple fence in the backyard, and the feeling that everything that should be simple has an extra step that's bolted down to it. So it's not a tax problem, it's actually an exhaustion problem. The taxes just add more to it. I actually had a client call me one day and tell me getting a simple permit for a fence actually took longer than their house did to close in Nevada. He wasn't joking, and neither am I. So if you're tired of paying California just to sit in traffic, then you're looking in the right direction. And if you want your kids outside more than you do in front of a screen like I do, then you're probably headed the right direction too. But if you come here thinking that Reno's going to feel like what California was 15 years ago, then we need to have a different conversation. Because it's not going to. And I'd rather tell you that now than after you've actually signed. And for that one thing that Zillow's not going to show you and you're never going to see on those listing photos is the 40-mile-an-hour wind in springtime. Or the wildfire smoke that we have some years. And the air that's so dry you're going to drink double the water and still feel like a raisin by week 2. We do sit at 4,500 feet in elevation. So that's not a marketing detail, that's actually a lung and skin adjustment. One afternoon, you're golfing in 70-degree weather, only to wake up and find yourself scraping ice off your windshield the very next morning, wondering what did you do wrong. It's okay, you're going to adjust to the altitude. You'll also adjust to the temperature swings. You will not adjust to the wind. you'll find yourself ceasing to buy any patio furniture that knows how to fly. Now on to the neighborhood mistake almost every client tells me up front, and that is, we're moving to Reno. And I'm just going to simply reply, no you're not. You're moving to one neighborhood inside of a metro that behaves like 6 small towns sharing a zip code. South Reno is not Spanish Springs, and Somerset is not Damani Ranch, and Arrow Creek is not Old Southwest. Your commute's going to change, and your school's going to change. And sometimes even your grocery store is going to change. And this is why I spend more time on neighborhoods than I do square footage. Because in the Reno Metro, we have over 100 very distinct neighborhoods with all different feels. Reno is not one market. It's dozens of different lifestyles, and making sure it matches your lifestyle is one of the most important conversations that we're going to have. That's why we say the house is easy. The zip code is where a lot of people can make the mistake. And that mistake gets more expensive year after year because this place is not sitting still. And that's because there's a boom that's taking place that a lot of people never discussed before they got here. When I actually got here, Reno still felt like a small, big city. Now it's one of the more important tech and data centers in the entire West. There have been billions of dollars invested into our community. Along with that has come tens of thousands of jobs all in this market. That's the upside. But here's the honest downside. All that growth does not show up silently. More people means more traffic, tighter inventory, and a city that's changing faster than a lot of the longtime locals are even comfortable with. You're not buying a house. You're actually buying into a city mid-growth, and you should know that going in. That's because over the last decade, we've brought in approximately 73,000 people into the Reno Metro. What's coming over the next 10 to 15 years with all the job and the growth that's taking place is approximately 83,000 more people coming into the Metro, with about 80% of those landing either in South Reno or in Sparks or Sparks East. So to get back to the 3 types of people with all of that information that I tell not to move here that we discussed up front. So here they are. First, if you're chasing Reno prices from 2015, then you might as well skip the look. Those days are gone, and so is that Reno. Secondly, if your ideal Tuesday night needs a Michelin star restaurant and an NBA game courtside, you're going to find this city small. That's not an insult, that's just simply geography. And thirdly, and this one is the one that surprises most people. If lakes, trails, mountains, skiing, and dirt under your fingernails don't genuinely excite you, don't move here for the lifestyle, because you're going to end up paying a premium for scenery that you'll never use. It's like leasing a boat and then never leaving the dock. So after 20 years of doing this, I've noticed some patterns. The clients that move here that are running away from something usually struggle. But the clients that move here running towards something usually flourish very well. Reno's not perfect, neither has it ever claimed to be. But if what you actually want is more time, more space, and a Tuesday that doesn't involve 2 hours in your car, this might be one of the best decisions you'll ever make. So comment below, tell me, are you thinking about making this move to avoid taxes? Or are you chasing a lifestyle? I do read every comment and personally respond to them. My wife Cindy has actually spent over 3 decades in both escrow and lending. And between the two of us, the 2-state part of this, California to Nevada, whether it's residential or commercial, it gets handled correctly the first time. So if you honestly want to know whether this fits your lifestyle or not, then we'll give you a strategic call that's one-on-one, and we'll help you walk through that by pulling up a Google map and walking you through the neighborhoods and giving you the information that you need to make the right decision. This isn't a tour, it's an actual conversation to break down what you're trying to accomplish. All you have to do is book a Zoom call with me at meetwithchris.com. And honestly, some people get on that call and they realize that Reno's not the right fit for them. That's totally fine too. We're simply here to give you the information you need to make sure that this is the right move for you and your family. I'd rather tell you the truth now than have you buy a house later and realize it was a mistake. So if this video has helped you, hit that like and subscribe button. We put videos out every single week of what it's like to live, work, and play in the Reno Metro. I'm Chris Raynor, your go-to realtor for all things Reno. We'll see you on the next one.